But yeah, we're 13 days away from Christmas. Next thing you know, we'll be moving right into 2026. And are you going to do the same old for your business in 2026? Well, we hope not. Lisa L. Baker's with us. She's an executive coach, speaker, and founder of Ascentim, the award-winning coaching and leadership development firm that helps high achievers lead boldly and live fully. And she's backed with over 20 years of Fortune 500 leadership experience, and she's ready to share some of that with us, along with her passion for helping people grow. Good morning, Lisa. Thank you so much for joining us.
Good morning, Matt. I am excited to be with you in the Breakfast Club this morning.
Well, I'm excited for you to be with us as well because, we're a business, and I talk to other business people and even just people in their daily life. And you know what? 2026 is coming. You start thinking, okay, what can we do better next year? What can we do bigger next year? And you advocate for bold moves. First, what do you mean by bold, and how do we do bold things?
A bold move is any action that stretches you beyond your comfort zone. It is taking purposeful steps toward the future that you really want to create. So it's not about, just being reckless, right? It's about doing what's going to move you and your business forward in an intentional way.
Okay, so move yourself in an intentional way. So how do you begin to do something bold by your definition?
I think the first step to doing something bold is deciding what you want to do. So part of what I help business owners and leaders do is to get really clear about what it is they want, personally or professionally. Once you have that clarity, then you can start to figure out how to move forward.
It's interesting because when you talk maybe not in an, hey, here's what we're going to do, but sometimes you talk about other businesses and they'll have great ideas, big ideas, and then you get them talking about theirs, they kind of have that, and you almost go, okay, so why don't you do that?
What holds us back? A lot of times it's fear that holds us in place. And that comparison game, too, can keep us stuck. If we're looking at other businesses and comparing them to ours, we naturally may start to think, I don't have what it takes to do that. I'm not in the same position. So those kinds of thought processes can keep us stuck.
And so you work with, Fortune 500 companies in the past, but how can you help maybe someone who is way beyond Fortune 500 but is just, trying to make it in their community?
Listen, the principles of growing and making those bold moves are the same whether you are a startup organization, an individual, or a large corporation. And I think of it as a process that I call GROW. And that stands for gain insight, realize new possibilities, overcome obstacles, and win at life and in leadership.
Oh, let's go through those then. Start with your G, gain insights. So what do you mean by that, and how do we go about achieving that?
So by gaining insight, I mean get information, gather the information research to help you really understand what it's going to take for you to move toward your goal. And even more importantly than that, get clear about what is holding you back. Because that insight, that information is what you need to feed the rest of the process.
Okay, let's move on. Tell us and unpack that R for us.
So now that you've got your insight, you can start to realize new possibilities. Okay, based on what I know, what's possible for me? What's possible for my business? Where do I want to take it? So coming out of that, it's kind of a visioning process about the future you want to create. So you can set some goals for yourself.
Okay, now the O?
Now, you have your goals. You're going to make a plan to achieve them. But life and business doesn't always go according to plan. So what we want to do is anticipate what the possible obstacles could be to achieving the possibilities that we want and create a plan for that too, so we're not caught off guard when something happens.
Now the W's win. How do you know when you're winning?
To know when you're winning, you have to assess your results. You have your plan in place. You're taking actionable, purposeful steps toward them. Now we want to assess how it's going. Are we meeting the goal we set? Or have we come up with obstacles? What's working and what's not? So you make adjustments and refine so that you know you're winning.
Again, talking with Lisa L. Baker, founder of Ascentim. She's a business executive coach. And so, Lisa, Ascentim, what is this?
What is this thing? Ascentim is, as you said, it's a coaching practice, but the important word in that is ascent. I believe that success is not a destination that we arrive at, but we ascend from one level to the next. We learn, we grow, we achieve a goal, we get there, and then we set a new goal. So it is really about helping leaders and entrepreneurs to have continuous cycles of growth so that they are evolving and becoming better versions of themselves.
Now, do you have a story in your life where you kind of hit the wall, didn't feel like you were doing anything, and then had to do your own system?
Absolutely. Listen, I have probably more of them than I care to count. But one that immediately comes to mind is what led me to begin Ascentim in the first place. I was working in corporate America as a senior executive doing really great things, leading a $2.5 billion book of business. But I hit a wall because I realized that it was kind of on repeat, the work that I was doing, the efforts, and it didn't feel purposeful anymore. It wasn't as fun as it used to be. And so having hit that wall, I had to think about, why does this not have the same joy and fulfillment that it once had? And what I realized is that while I help organizations and people grow, I was helping a really big corporation become even bigger, and that was not fulfilling me.
So there seems to be a big thing, and I feel this in my own life, when you do things that you think matter, you have that energy, that boldness, you try things, but when you feel as though you're maintaining something, you lose steam.
Absolutely. I am not about just maintaining. Most people will lose steam when they don't feel like they are making progress, or when the progress that they're making doesn't align with what really matters to them, and especially if it goes against something that they truly hold dear, a value, a belief that's core to their identity.
So now that you've been doing this coaching side of things, has this been more fulfilling than your previous successes?
Absolutely. I get the pleasure every day of talking to leaders and teams at all levels across industries and coming alongside them and helping them to get clear about what matters and coaching them to the vision of themselves and their business and the future that they want to create. And I could do it all day, every day, even for free. I just love it that much.
That's awesome. Where can we find more about you and Ascentim?
You can find more about Ascentim at ascentim.com for sure, but I love to make new connections, and so follow me on Facebook or Instagram at Ascentim, and you can catch me on LinkedIn as well. I'm Lisa L. Baker on LinkedIn, and I'd love to hear from your listeners if they want to know more about how they can make their own bold move.
Ascentim, Ascentim, Ascentim.com. Well, Lisa, thank you so much for joining us. It's been fun talking with you, and have a great holiday.
Thank you. Same to you.
Again, that's Lisa L. Baker from Ascentim, a coach that might just help you have a great 2026. This is The Breakfast Club.